wait for a few moments. We'll start the session. Good evening to everyone present here. With warm greetings, it gives me a great pleasure to extend my warm welcome on behalf of College and Institution Innovation Council 3.0. On this occasion, I would like to welcome you all for this session on building on innovation or product fit for a market organized under BEC 3.0. If you never see greatness reaches in your imagination, you will never see them in your bank balance, said by Napoleon Hill. With this note, it's pleasure to welcome such a wonderful resource person, Dr. Sanjay Hanji, Associate Professor, Department of MBA, BEC, Bagalkot. And I welcome below Principal, Dr. S.S. Engineer, sir. And I welcome Dr. A.D. Devanguri, sir, also, ISC Coordinator. Finally, I welcome all the participants to this super evening. Over to you, sir. Directly.
So we all are here in the Institute Innovation Council because the main objective of this council is to build innovations and market the products. And when we are building innovation, it is it is very much necessary. If you have startup in mind, and if you are planning to build an innovation, then definitely you should think of whether the product fits the market or not. Okay, so fitting the market is very, very important. Otherwise, whatever innovation you do might not work, because otherwise you have put a lot of effort in building the product or building the innovation. But if customers are not ready to accept that product, then probably all effort what you put will be in shambles. Now, I'm Dr. Sanjay Hanji, working as associate professor in MBA department. Now, before I start, I'd like to ask you all whether you'd like to listen to me just freehand or you would like to see the slides. Okay, I have the slides also, but if you'd like to listen to me just like that, then I just want to ask you all how we will proceed with this. Hello? You can
Sir,
please...
slides.
Sir,
Slides, sir.
Okay. Okay. Wherever it is required, I will try to show the slides. Otherwise, it is not necessary otherwise. However, what I will do is I will show the title slide at least. I hope you are able to see the slides.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so today we are talking about innovation or product fit for the market. Okay, so see, in Institute Innovation Council, we talk a lot about innovations. We talk a lot about product development. We talk about patents. We talk about copyrights. Um, but all said and done, your innovation will not yield you fruits until and unless it fits the market. So that's what is the talk is all about. Now, product market fit is the degree to which, the product or innovation satisfies. Are you able to see the next slide? I've changed the slide.
No, sir.
No?
No, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Yeah. So slides are moving?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So product market fit, how you can make, degree to which your product or innovation satisfies a strong market demand is what is product market fit. And it has been identified as one of, first step to build a successful venture in which company meets early adopters and gathers feedback and gauges interests in its products. Means you try to find out how your early adopters, behave. Okay. So now here, basically, now let us see why this, 20% of the startups, they had immediate product market fit. And some 35% of the startups, they had some traction. Totally 35% of the companies, they had success. They tasted success after 1 year of the startup. But on the contrary, okay, nearly 60% of the businesses, or 60 to 65% of the businesses, failed in the market after 1 year. Now, why do you think they failed? Because they were selling and they were making money, but the product was not a fit into the market. Sometimes your customers will purchase the product, maybe because it satisfies their immediate urge. And since you're earning money, you feel that, okay, customers have accepted. No, customers have tried your product. That doesn't mean that they've accepted it. If they have accepted it, that relation between the customer and the company or the product will go for a longer period of time. If the customers don't accept your product, then probably, don't accept, then it will break. So what is product market fit is the product should suit the customer needs, everyday needs, and it should be needed by the customer, it should be wanted by the customer, and it should be desired by the customer. Okay, that is product market fit. Now I will, show you another slide. When the startups level of, feelings, not too happy, not too sad, but when the startup starts, there is a lot of initial enthusiasm. If you can see there, the curve goes up. And what entrepreneurs face, so much of pain, what they go into, so much of difficulties, because they have to handle so many things. They have to handle finance, marketing, human resource, and operations at the same time. They have to toggle between all those things. Then, when this is going on, they will start doing experimentation. Those companies which really want to survive, some people give up here. Some people really give up. Some people, what they do is they reinvent themselves. That is called as experimenting and pivoting. If that initial product is not matching the customers, they will start changing to the customer needs. They will try. If A is not working, they'll come up with B. If B is not working, they'll come up with C, and starts working. And there you can see a small dot here on the right side bottom. That is called product market fit. Once the product market fit sets in, when the product matches the customer needs, pakka, then the business starts growing. Okay, so this is a very, very, very important thing, guys. And here in this slide, you can see on the y-axis there are market needs, and the x-axis there is product. If product is basic and market needs is low, it is going to have failure in the market. Okay, and let's say if product is best, market needs are very low, then see, you have a very good product and people don't need that product, then you will be demotivated. If your product is basic but market needs your product, then it is favorable. Basic product but people need it, so it is as good as the vaccines, or doesn't matter how good is the vaccine, but people need it badly. Product is basic but people need it. Maybe vaccine is very good, people don't need it, then it is a demotivation. Okay, so if market need is very high and product is best, that is extraordinary to measure product market fit. Okay, how do you feel if you could no longer use the product? If you ask this question to the customers, okay, now imagine that your product is in the market, customers are using it. Okay, you have launched the product and customers are using it, and later you go to the customers and you ask the customers, how would you feel if you could no longer use the product, or if it is no longer available in the market? How will you feel? Okay, they'll say, doing MBA, I was doing a part-time business as well that was called Absolute Service. We used to take 100 rupees from each household, and we used to do all kinds of work for them for entire month, like bill payment, telephone bill payment, light bill payment, and even if they have other jobs, like if they need plumber, if they need electrician for some home work, then we used to send them. That charge will be extra, but what the service what we do, that costs 100 rupees. We started it, and it was so good that when because I was just part-time in it, when my full-time partner, like he got into some family problem and we thought of closing it, a lot of customers, they said that please don't close. How will we survive? How will we do our activities? When we were convincing initially, they said we don't need this service. But once they were addicted, once they started using the service, they felt that they need the service so badly. So many customers, they said, please don't close. But we did not have any option, because I was in a job when we were closing it. And that's what we have to see. How much percentage of people will be disappointed if that product is not there, or your business or your product or innovation is not there in the market? If at least 40% of the people feel that, they are very disappointed if your business closes or if your product is not there, then your product has a very good market fit. Now, how many people feel in this session, if Amazon is thinking of closing and Flipkart is thinking of closing, how many people will be disappointed? Or how many people will not be disappointed? Guys, hello?
So most of us will be
closing their business, huh?
Most people are disappointed.
Most people will be disappointed. Why? Because they want that service to be there, right? That business to be there. Means whatever the kind of service what they're giving, that's the product that has got a very good market fit. If at least 40%, not 100%, at least 40% people feel in your target market, feels that your product should be there in the market, then it is one of the measure that, you can say that product fits the market. Okay. Then whatever business you start tomorrow, that business should have at least 40% people who should support your business market fit. and hitting a milestone. Suddenly you start and you reach one milestone, big mission you accomplish. It means that you're having a good market fit. Now you can say that 12 customers or couple of 40% of the customers say that must have solution for the problem you're trying to solve. Now before you even think of coming up with the product or the innovation, you should ask the customer, and if at least 40% customers, you don't go by that 12 number, at least handful of people are saying that they need solution for their problems, and at least couple of them, they are saying that you should come up with a solution, must have solution for this problem. Okay, and at least few people, like out of 20, let's say 12 are saying like that, and 5 people say that you need to scale up your solution, come up with multiple products, because it is solving somebody's problem and you should mass produce it. If that is there, and if 5 people are who are the early adopters, who are ready to pay for it, then you can say that the product has a very good fit. Now let us understand the difference between what is desirable for the marketer. Is it product market fit or problem solution fit? Now usually what we think is, there is a problem in the market, let's say drinking water problem. You give, okay, bhal customers ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ನಮಗ ನಾವು ನಗರನಾಗ ಅಡ್ಡಾಡಕ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲ, there is so much of transportation problem, we want some solution for it. Don't enter into the market. If the customers really feel that there should be a product which will solve the problem, then go for innovation, then go for thinking like how I should solve the problem. So don't go for problem solution fit, go for product market fit. Okay, what we should be desiring, we want the customer to design for a product, not the solution. Okay, most of you are engineers, you think of giving a solution to the problem by technology. Okay, now the customer needs, wants and desires. Okay, now what is a need? Need is see, I will give an example. Now when you are hungry, what do you need? When you are hungry, what do you need?
Food, sir.
Food. Okay, now what is a want?
Anything,
What is want? Huh?
anything,
Any other example what you can give? A lot of MBA students are there, no? So can you tell me what our customer needs, wants and desires?
Sir, food, shelter.
All these are needs.
Yes, sir. Safety.
Then wants?
wants means
Sir,
particular
wants
food.
security, sir.
For example, pizza or burger.
Okay. Then what is the desire?
Fulfilling eating pizza and burger, that's the desires.
Fulfilling?
Eating pizza or burger is desire.
See, I'll tell you another analogy. Okay, we can see needs, wants and desires in different ways. Okay, now here customer needs is something like you are hungry, so that is your need. So when you feel hungry, you feel that you need food. Okay, that's the customer need. Then what is the want? You can fulfill your need by eating anything. You can eat a banana also and fill your stomach, but you can also eat an biscuit and fill your stomach. Okay, or simply eat some rice and fill your stomach. But no, sometimes you feel that I want to eat burger only to satisfy my hunger. Then that is your want. You want a burger to satisfy your need. You want a burger. Now what is a desire? Desire is You don't want any Eragera burger. You want a burger from McDonald's. That is your desire. Correct? Right? So this is what is customer needs, wants, and desires. You need to understand what customer needs, what they want, and what they desire for. Did not have that need of transportation or need for car. They had. Did they not want a better car, like for example Toyota or Renault or Hyundai? Yes, they had, and they desired for it. Now they are desiring it. Earlier they did not desire it to happen in Bagalkot. They were okay to have those showrooms in Hubli so that they can go and get the services done. So now there is desire to have the showroom here only, and that's why the showrooms are here. That's why there is a product market fit. And without, now 10 years back, if I open a showroom, in Hubli there were showrooms, but in Bagalkot there were no showrooms. And if you start a showroom here, the product will not fit the market. So understanding customer needs, wants, and desires or demands is very, very important. Okay. Now, anyway, you have understood the concept. Now there are different types of customer needs. Okay. Needs, wants, demands are on one side. There are other things involved in customer needs. Customer does not just have needs, wants, demands, but also need for different types of products, different types of services. Not only products and services, but the experience. Guys, see, how many people watch movie in theaters? How many people watch movie in theaters? Like to watch? A lot of people, right? Now, that product and service is there here in Bagalkot. They have a lot of theaters. But if you want to experience AC theaters and if you want to experience PVR cinemas, that experience is different. People need experiences also, that kind of experience. You can travel from Hubli to Bangalore. You can travel by bike, you can travel by car, you can travel by train. But the experience of traveling by flight is something different. Sometimes experiences also matters. What kind of customer experience you give. You can have a cup of tea here in a local tea shop, and you can have same cup of tea in a 5-star hotel. What differs is the experience, And the third thing is value and satisfaction. What value you're giving for what they're paying, how much you're giving. Always what you're giving should be more than how much they're paying. They should feel that. They are paying something bigger. They should feel that they're going to receive something big compared to the amount what they're paying. That is value, and how much satisfied they are. Exchange and relationships and markets are very, very important. Related concepts to customer needs. Now, there are other types of needs if we can look into. There are stated needs, real needs, unstated needs, delight needs, and secret needs. By and large, you can categorize people into stated and unstated. Some people see that, okay, somebody purchases an expensive car. They state that, why you want this car? They say that, oh, it has got very good quality. That is the stated need. They openly tell it. But what they don't tell is unstated need. Oh, this car has a good service, or oh, it's a status symbol. They will not state it. Okay. Now stated needs is, I want a fast laptop. What is a real need? Because they want high performance and accurate result. What is unstated need? They want good service. That's why they are purchasing a good branded laptop. Or what is a delight need? They'll become delighted because they want that. I'm purchasing a better laptop and this person should give me a mouse and a keypad at least. Okay. And a secret need. Secret need is something like people should praise. Arey, you are very smart. No, you have purchased such a good laptop and your choice is so good. Your taste is so good. Your selection is so good. That is savvy customer. People would like to be treated as savvy. I mean, so intelligent you are in purchasing the things. This kind of need is also there in the customers. Now, you should also know, before we talk about product market fit, you should know segmenting, targeting, and positioning. Now, may I ask MBA students, what is STP? Segmenting, targeting.
Targeting a particular
Targeting is selecting a particular group. Segmenting is making a big market into small groups, different groups is called segmenting. Then selecting the groups is called targeting, and positioning means hitting the right segment is called in a right way is called positioning. Okay. Now, for other students, you have a very big market. Okay. Let's say let me take the example of Mercedes-Benz. Okay. Now there are a lot of people who'd like to buy cars. That is huge. India is there who wants cars. But thing is, everybody will purchase my car? No. Then you have to see who will purchase my car. For that, you need to segment the market. First, divide the market into groups. Then see which group will accept your product. Not all groups will accept your product. Only few groups will accept your products. Or there will be sometimes that all groups will accept your products. If all groups are accepting your product, then it's a mass product. It's a mass market product. For example, now mask is there. Everybody is wearing mask. You don't need to segment the market. Everybody is purchasing. Means undivided marketing strategy you can do. But let's say you're selling iPhones. iPhone will not be purchased by everybody. Only couple of people will. Who are those people who might purchase your phone? That group you have to identify, that is targeting. How will you position the product in the customer's mind? Means how will you put what benefits of the product you will put in customer's mind, associate the product to benefits in customer mind. That is called positioning. Now segmentation can be done through behavioral segmentation, demographic, geographic, psychographic. Behavioral means how do customers behave. You can divide the market in that way. You can divide the group market in terms of demography. For example, you are selling books, okay? 2-line books, 4-line books. Who will purchase 4-line books? According to demography?
Sir, parents, sir.
Huh? 4-line.
Parents purchase books for their children, sir.
For their children. Very good. So that's mainly end user is children, right? So
Yes.
how you have to divide the market? You have to divide the market into demography. For example, students, businessmen, job holders, and this thing. Who will purchase? Now there are 4 groups. Which group will purchase your book? Students, children. And in student only, you can divide again the market into ages. Okay, 0 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 to 9 years, 9 to 14 years, 14 and above. Okay, 4-line books. Do you think that those people who are going to school, very lower, not high school, junior schools people, and same way you can you can divide the market based on geography also. See, now McDonald's, I think they have done the geographical, behavioral, demographic, and psychographic segmentation. That's why they are not targeting Bagalkot. They are targeting Belgaum. Yes, they are targeting maybe Hubli. They are targeting Pune. They target Hyderabad. They target Bangalore, but they don't target Bagalkot. Why? Because the behavioral things of Bagalkot is they don't want to spend so much money on a burger. Still, that kind of change has not happened. Behavioral change has not happened. But once Bagalkot is ready, they will definitely bring that product into this market. So segmentation is very, very important. And if you are targeting the entire market, then it is called undifferentiated marketing. Means you are treating entire market as one and you are selling it. Like let's say matchboxes. Everybody purchases matchbox. So you don't have to segment the market to sell matchboxes. You have to just sell it. Everybody will purchase. Now, differentiated marketing strategy means you have divided the market into different segments. Let's say Maruti has done it. For for those with low income people, they have cars like Alto, they have Wagoner. Okay, for little bit higher, they have Celero, A-Star, Swift. For more than that, they have S-Cross. Like that, they have divided the market, and for each segment, they have cars for them. Correct? Now, that is differentiated marketing strategy. Then you can come up with niche market. Niche market is out of different markets, you will select only one piece. Okay. For example, BMW has bikes or BMW has cars. It does not have car for low income people. It is concentrating only on one niche, that is only high class people. Mercedes has cars not for low income and middle income like that, only high class people. That is the niche of the people who will purchase those cars. If you are dividing the market into income levels, okay. And micro marketing and niche marketing. Micro marketing is something like very local marketing. See, here there is Shutter Supermarket in Bagalkot, and it is not targeting Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum, Bangalore market. It is only targeting only Vidyagiri or Navnagar people here. That is local marketing. Individual marketing means you are capturing one individual person. Means, for example, here in our college, one person comes from Bidgi. He brings in Galgali Peda, and he has identified certain individuals in our college who will purchase his Peda, and he will come and target us only. He will come and sell the product and we will purchase. He knows that. That is called individual marketing, and he doesn't focus on everybody. Okay, these are the marketing strategies what you have to think. Whenever you're thinking about product market fit, don't decide on which, don't just develop the product. Think your product will satisfy whom? Will it satisfy mass market, or will it satisfy any one particular segment or two particular segments, or will it satisfy only one niche of the market, or will it satisfy local market or individuals? You think of that. And then position based on the attribute, means based on the features, based on the price and quality, based on the user application. Means some people use that application and you feel that, you will tell them that, this is only for you people. Okay. Product user, product class, like that, and competitor positioning you can do. And we are not going in depth with this because these concepts are necessary just to know how you can market your product. If there is little bit mismatch between the product and the market, you can really think of different positioning strategies which will help you, in setting the market. Okay. Now, third concept what we have to learn to understand product market fit is diffusion of innovation and product adoption. Okay. What is diffusion of innovation? Can anybody tell me what is diffusion of innovation? Or product adoption? Any concept if you know?
Sir, according to me, diffusion of innovation means creative thinking, sir, and means innovate a new product which is not there in the market, sir.
Okay. Diffusion of innovation means you come up with a very innovative product, just not coming. He died because people, he used to roam in the market just like a mad fellow. Okay, and people thought that he's really a mental case, and people did not appreciate him or did not talk to him, and they always treated him with low dignity and stuff. Because he was always in the closed door, never used to come out, and he was very less outspoken to the people, and people did not like him, and they also did not know him. One day, people felt that this person has not come out of his house for a long time, and few people will be there in the society who will take leadership, and they say something might have happened, and kicked the door and went inside and saw that person is already dead. Shakespeare is dead. And then they look around the house and they say that papers, books, only these things will be there, and in the cupboard also a lot of books. Then they read that material, and then they come to know that this person was a genius, and this person has written so many good poems, so many good literature, and he becomes world famous after when he dies. Because when he was alive, people really did not recognize him, and he became famous after dying. Because that's when people broke into his house and checked his literature. Now, what I'm trying to say here is, he had an innovative mind, he had a creative mind, he had written so many things, but he could not take that writing and literature, whatever his product was, to the market. He could not diffuse the innovation to the public or to the consumer, because of which he could not taste that success when he was alive. His product was really good, but he did not know how to communicate it with the customer, how to take it to the customer. Now he is one of the legend actually in literature. Now that's what is diffusion of innovation. Now you will be surprised to know that it took 38 years for early adopters to actually use telephone technology. When telephone was introduced in the market, maybe long time, it did not click in the market. It took so many years. Pager, pager? How many of you know pagers? I'm sure that you might not have used pagers.
No, sir.
No. Pager was a technology wherein before the mobile cell phones came, this technology was there, wherein you can call a call center with your land phone and give one number of the contact number of the person, and you can leave a message. For example, Kiran, call me back immediately on my telephone number. I'm waiting for you. This is the message. And the person who will be carrying the pager will get the message, and he will see, and he will go to the nearest telephone booth and he will call that person. About innovation diffusion. Maybe some of you people did not accept the product because they felt that, means with non-stick cookware, you have to put very less oil, less. Now in diffusion process, you have 4 important things. One is you need to have an innovative product. Second is how will you, market the products. For example, you have a lot of innovative products, whether you will distribute door to door, whether you will put it in retail stores, or whether you will make it available on Flipkart and Amazon and sell the products. That is channels of communication and distribution. How will you communicate with the customer and how will you distribute it? And social system. Whenever you have an innovative product, for example, now amongst you guys, 30-40 guys, one of you come up with a very good vaccine for COVID-19. Okay, that is your innovative product. Who should certify that your innovation is good or should be sold in the market? Who will certify that? Some group of people should certify, right?
Yes, sir.
Who are those
Yes,
people?
sir.
Who are those people?
So like
Medical
controller.
Medical controller, doctors. Correct? They should say that, yes, they should test and they should say that your vaccine is good. Correct? Means those doctors or medical people whom we are talking about here, they are your social systems. Whenever you come up with an innovation, the social system should accept your innovation. Otherwise, your innovation will not be a complete innovation. Means you'll be like Shakespeare. You know a lot of creative ideas, but you don't know how to put it across. And last thing is time. How fast you launch the product is very, very important. See, last year when COVID was there, vaccine was required badly. Okay. See, who will come with the first vaccine, he will earn a lot of money. Now, if you come with vaccine, how much scope is there for you to earn money? Less, right? But last year, there was a huge rush. First, who will produce? It's very, very important. So time is also very, very important. How fast you launch the innovation. Otherwise, competitors will see. So many businesses, you might have thought that, okay, I have this business plan. Now you'll say that, Arey, this is launched. I had this business plan 5 years ago, but I did not do it. This guy has done it. Why? He has overtaken you over the time. You wanted to do it after 2 years, but he did it today. So he has, time matters a lot in diffusion of innovation. Now, when we are talking about innovation, there are different types. Firm oriented innovation means it is new to the firm. In the market, it is there. For your firm, you are doing it for the first time. Okay. For example, electric cars are there in the market. For Apple, it's an innovation because for Apple, it is the first car for them. Product oriented innovation means in this product category, there is no such product like this. That is product oriented innovation. Then you have market oriented innovation, wherein in the market, you don't have, in maybe Bangalore market, there is a kind of shop there. But in Bagalkot market, there is no such shop. Means it is market oriented innovation. Or in maybe American market, there is this kind of product. But here in Indian market, this is completely innovative. Okay. Means maybe it's there in Hollywood, Godzilla and Jurassic Park. These kind of movies were produced a long time back. When we do such movies in Sandalwood, then we'll feel proud because this is innovation for us. It's not that it's not there. They have done it, but for our market, we are doing it for the first time. That is market-oriented innovation. What is customer-oriented innovation? Consumer-oriented innovation means here products are there, many products are there in the market, but consumers feel that your product is something special and innovative. They feel like that. If they feel like that, then that means that it is called as consumer-oriented innovation. So these are the different types of innovations which are there. Now these innovations, how they fit well in the market is very, very important. Correct? Sometimes market-oriented innovation is very important because innovative products are there, but for your market, this is the product. So product market fit will be very high in market-oriented innovation. In product-oriented innovation, yes, but customers should accept it, product-oriented. Because see, Nirlip, I told you, frying pans are very many, but non-stick cookware, you had a different feature, but nobody wanted it. I'll give you another example. Product-oriented innovation means how many people have rats in their house? How many people have rats in their house? None? Or how many people have rats? Huh? How much you would like to spend to catch the rats? Okay. Now, what are the different products which are available in the market to catch the rats? You have DDT powder, you have some tablets, correct? Which are available for 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees maximum, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One person, this is real fact, huh? This is real fact. Maybe the price what I'm going to tell you is hypothetical. It is actually, it has happened in America. Now I'll give you an analogy in India. Same example. He came up with a new product to catch the rats. New product, completely new product to catch the rats. You know, it was a very innovative machine and it really worked like a charm. It worked like a charm and it used to catch all the rats in the house. Okay, very innovative. It was such a big box and it costed 20,000 rupees according to Indian market now. Very good product. Now I'm asking you, audience, this product oriented innovation, how many people will purchase this innovative product? How many people will purchase this innovative product?
In India, only few people will purchase, sir.
Huh. But people will think, no, in luxury people, if they want to purchase this kind of item, first of all, in such bungalows like Ambani, Tata, Birla, they will not have rats in their house.
Yes, sir.
And those who have rats in their house will not be able to afford this kind of product, or will feel that this is useless of paying 20,000 for such a machine. Correct?
Yes, yes.
Are you getting the example? Now, if you
Yes.
are having product-oriented innovation, do you think that your product will have a market fit? Such kind of a product?
No, sir.
No. Now, what is market-oriented innovation? What is a product market fit? See, one movie has been produced in Hollywood. Okay, it is a very famous movie. Okay, now you have seen that a lot of Hollywood movies come into Bollywood dubbed, and same movies will be dubbed in this thing, Sandalwood. But still they sell. Why? Because those Hollywood movies, only couple of people who watch, Indians who watch Hollywood movies. Most of the, let's say, Karnataka sandalwood movie, lot of Kannadigas might not have watched that Hollywood movie. Lot of mass people would not have watched. Same theme, same story, everything same, Indian actors, and they customize it to India and sell that product. Correct? And it will become a super duper hit. What do you mean by that? Product has a good market fit. Why? Because it's market oriented innovation, right? This kind of innovation has happened in Hollywood. It's there in the market, but your market has not seen that product. For your market, it is new. So it will be a success. Are you understanding? Now, firm oriented innovation, see, your firm, from your firm, it is a new product. I don't know whether people will purchase or not. And yes, maybe there are thousands of products in the market, but you launch that product, same product, no additional feature, anything, little bit of change. And if customer feel really it's a very innovative product, you're lucky. And that is called as customer oriented innovation. Understood, guys? Customer oriented, consumer oriented innovation happens if you are very good in positioning in customer's mind. I will give an example here. You know Maruti Omni car?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Okay.
Yes, sir.
There was a lot of demand for Maruti Omni. They used to call Maruti van. Correct? Maruti van. And the sales was coming down. Okay. Now, slowly there was increasing demand for tall cars, tall and big cars. Now, for this van, no, 800 also demand was decreasing, van also decreasing. They do simple consumer oriented innovation example I'm giving you. How just psychological things changes people's perception. They said, it's not a van, it's a big car for a family. When they started positioning and advertising the product as a big car, suddenly people started seeing with some other lens, same car, some other lens. They started liking the car again. They started, oh, it's not a van, it's a car, big car. And start again, craze started amongst the people and the sales went up. Now this is an near example for consumer oriented innovation. And this is how you fit the product into the market or customer's mind. See, rate of adoption. Pager took 41 years to, for customers to adapt. And within 3-4 years, mobile phone came, killed its market. Telephone took 38 years. For a normal consumer to own a telephone, it took 38 years. Now, cable television, it took 25 years for everybody, every household to have, not all, most of the households to have cable television. 25 years, that innovation. Cellular phones took just 9 years for the product to be launched. And smartphone, I think 1 or 2 years. Correct? Okay. Now, you should also, why we are talking about all these things? Because maybe your product is innovative, but if market is not ready for it, you will have to wait for a long time till the market. See, a lot of good movies in Bollywood, they were flop at that time because viewers were not ready, culturally ready to understand the concept. If you watch those old movies now, you feel that, oh, such a very good movie has been done long time back. Correct? Now you are ready for that movie. So sometimes your market is not ready for your product. If McDonald's come to Bagalkot, it will see big failure because people are not ready still. But one day they will be ready. Yes, one day McDonald's will come to Bagalkot for sure. Still, airport is not there because people are not ready. Once they are ready, airport will be here in Bagalkot. Now, stages of adoption process. Now, people will go through awareness, interest, evaluation, trial, and adoption. First, they'll become aware, and slightly they will become interested. Slowly they will evaluate whether to go for it or not. They try it. In trial, if they feel not good, they will leave it. Means your product does not have any market fit. Adoption happens if they feel that this product connects with our lifestyle. That's where adoption happens. You should know this. And categories of adopters is also very, very important. When mobile phone was launched, not an entire market took it. First, innovators, they try it, and slowly early adopters will try it. Early adopters like YouTube channels, those people have. They will they will see the mobile, they will review it, and they will tell to others. Then early majority people start purchasing it. Then late majority and laggards. Now, what is product market fit? Product market fit does not mean that you should not. It should not. It not necessarily you should cover the entire market. Till early adopters give you a green signal. Early adopters give you a green signal that it's a good product. Then it means that your product is having a good fit. Who are innovators? Innovators are your friends or general public. Will go and ask, sir, I have done this innovation. Will you purchase if I mass produce it? They'll say yes. They are innovators. They'll encourage you. But based on that, if you launch the product in the market, it's not sure. Early adopters should say that it's a good product. Who are the early adopters? Maybe they are opinion leaders. They will actually tell the early majority. Early majority of the people who will feel that, oh, now it's the time for us to try it. They are early majority. Late majority are after the half-life product cycle, they start purchasing. They feel that I should have purchased the products. Who are laggards? Laggards means, have you seen people still using keypad mobile? Few people, or no mobile at all. No mobile at all sometimes. They'll be thinking of purchasing a mobile. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾರೆ, ನಾನು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಂತ ಮಾಡೇನ್ರಿ ಅಂತಾರ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇವನು. They are laggards. Okay, so who should accept your product? Who should tell that your product is good? Early adopters. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮೊದಲು ಚುಚ್ಕೊಳಕ ಹೆದರಾಗ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, ಹೌದಿಲ್ರಿ? ನಾ ಬೇಡ ನೀ ಬೇಡ, ಹೌದಿಲ್ರಿ? ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಇತ್ತ ಇನೋವೇಟರ್ಸ್, ದೇ ವೆಂಟ್ ಓಕೆ ಚುಚ್ಚ ನೋಡು ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ ಅಂತ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೋದ್ಮ್ಯಾಗೂ ಮಂದಿಗೆ ಧೈರ್ಯ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ದೆನ್ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರು, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಆದ್ಮ್ಯಾಗ ಸೇಫ್ ಅಂತಂದ ಮ್ಯಾಗ ದೆನ್ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲೇಟ್ ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಲೆಗಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋನ್ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ. Correct. So this is what happens in adopter category. Why you should know it? Because when I talk about early adopters, sir, nange early adopter ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ ಮಿನಿಮಲ್ ವಯಬಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಂಗೆ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಬಾರ್ದು ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾಳ ಐತಂತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಫಿನಿಶ್ ಇಟ್. Now we should understand customer development cycle. When you are developing your customer base, you should go into 4 process: customer discovery, customer validation, get new customer, and company creation. Customer discovery andre for who are your target market, for whom you are building the product. Customer validation andre nimdond minimal viable product ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ, ಸರ್ ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ ಅನಿಸ್ತೈತಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇಸ್ಕೋತೀರಿ. ಅವರು